Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girlz is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae Girlz out there. They ain't believe in us. John did. Reggae Girlz, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there, World Cup. Sadella Marley, nothing but love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I'm representing for the Reggae Girlz. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sidela, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae Girlz do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica supporting it every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best. Stu Davis, take it away.
My title is How Are We All? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Let me know if you guys can hear me there in the comment section. If there's any, if you can't hear me, then maybe I need to turn some stuff up my end. So do let me know, and I'll go ahead and make the necessary amends my end. So my apologies again, guys, for not giving you the usual back-to-back live streams or live streams every other day, depending on my schedule. Obviously, I already spoke to you guys some days ago with regards to how I'm feeling, and so yeah, that probably for the most part explains why I haven't been able to give you guys the live stream. And I've also pretty much been keeping you guys in the loop in the community tab. So I think for the most part, I am assuming we're all on the same page. Again, I'm sorry for being absent with my live stream. So the game, I should probably go ahead and see if I can get that one up on the screen. It would help if I went ahead and did exactly that. Back to some men's football. As we bring this window to an end, I think we're probably going to jump straight into the senior women's national team. So the Reggae Girlz, the senior Reggae Girlz, and their upcoming game. Just a gentle reminder, they have 2 home matches there in the pipeline. The first being being played on the 29th of November against South Africa, with the second of that match being played on December 2nd. And as I said, both of those games there are being played in Jamaica. So when we finish off with the men's side of things, 2 important games coming up in the Concacaf Nations League, where the men's team are concerned, against one of our most feared opponents, the United States. Then we'll just segue and jump into the women's stuff, because I don't really think we'll have much of a wiggle room, if I'm being honest. The calendar is quite tight this time of the year. So yeah, that's the plan. Do some stuff on the men's team, and then segue into the women's team. My apologies, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. I say tomorrow. If you're based in Europe, the game against United States is kicking off like early Friday morning. So for example, if you're in the UK, against Jamaica versus the United States. That's a 1 a.m. kickoff. So I've not really decided yet if I'm going to be doing a watch along with you guys. So yeah, I'll see. Mr. Simmons, how are you? I hope you're in good health. When are you? Sometimes it gets me in trouble, Cad. Sometimes the honesty gets me in trouble, but they say honesty is the best policy. So we have to just stick to that. You know, sometimes it rubs people up the wrong way, but it's all in good faith. So how am I going to be doing this one, guys? And again, if you guys aren't aware from Kadeem Simmons, he does a podcast. He does a podcast on NFL, so American football, Go Time Dolphins. Do check them out on YouTube and across social media. I know like a few of you in the comment section have already done that. So if you're into your NFL football, some of you have asked me to do it. Like Tads, by the way, I still have your book. You lent me a book on NFL. Like I still have your book. It's in good condition. So that when we eventually meet up, I'll bring your book for you because I've had it for maybe 2 years now. So I'll bring that book to you. All right, guys. So back to the game. I want to start off on like a positive. I want to start on a positive note, and it's not really, sometimes it just isn't positive. We're kind of like struggling for positivity sometimes when we're dealing with football in our neck of the woods, but there's some positives there. Let's see what Kads is saying. Hold on, before I do a share, let me see what Kads is saying. We definitely need to meet up soon. Oh yes, we have plenty to catch up on. So yeah, we need to like book something where we can like meet up and have a chat. So yeah, let's keep in touch and see what day is like feasible for us. But yeah, it's good to see you in the comment section, Kads. And like I said, I hope you're in good health. Hope your family is in good health as well. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and touch on the first bit of positivity. So before I get started, actually, let's stick a pin in it. I was gonna forget something, but before I forget, let me just go ahead and like echo what I've already said. I think I'm gonna sound like a bit of a broken record. Again, you know, just big up to the social media team. I still don't know who exactly runs the social media channels there where the Jamaica Football Federation is concerned, but they're doing a wonderful job as it relates to promoting the men's side of the game. Long may it continue. And I guess we could extend that praise over onto 876 Stream as well, because they're doing a tremendous job in terms of getting that visibility out there of the content that they're producing, particularly over on Instagram. They're doing an uploadable job. So long may it continue, but you already know where I'm going with this, because they're doing such a eye-catching job. Of course, I want to see it extended over to the women's team. So if they're not doing like for like and giving us that balanced equality that we deserve, then obviously I'm going to be the one to highlight it. Do trust that it is done in good faith. Nothing is done with ill intent. Nothing is done to create malice or to cause an upset. So again, you know, big up to the JFF social media team, and also big up to 876 Stream as well, with the clear, visible work that's being done in terms of promoting these games. Once upon a time, we used to have to beg the Jamaica Football Federation to promote games because they just didn't seem to understand why it was so important to utilize the benefits there of social media. But things, I think, if we're being honest with ourselves, I've said this already, especially as it relates to the men's team, that things are changing in regards to the Jamaica Football Federation and how they're promoting these games, and their acceptance and willingness to let people do the job that they clearly couldn't do because they hadn't done it before, right? So, you know, sometimes if I need someone to, I don't know, do my flooring, I'm not going to go and call a plumber because my plumber can't do my flooring. I need someone to do the toilet, I'm not going to call my carpenter. So it's good to see that they're, from an outsider looking on, at least it seems that they're a bit more willing to one, take the constructive crowd criticism and implement the necessary changes. And you can see that definitely with the promotion of the men's team, and also with all the huffing and puffing going on in the background. with regards to traditional and new media. I do want to double down on what I said some weeks back with regards to us in new media placing those flowers there firmly at the feet of Mr. Earl Bailey. I said it some weeks back, and it's so funny how things unfolded since then. Of course, I already told you guys about me not feeling well, but I'm just trying to bring myself up to speed of everything. Again, echoing heaps of respect and praise and appreciation to Earl Bailey, because I'll be the first to say and repeat it that he, for me, when we're talking about all the positive changes there with regards to how the media around our national football team, be it the Reggae Girls or the Reggae Boys, you're talking about the improvements, the visibility, and also, more importantly, access. Access is key in terms of being a content creator. You need to have access. I think you have to, you can't bypass Earl Bailey, because, as I said before, you know, Earl Bailey he came from traditional media, like, you know, formerly the Reggae Boys press officer, but he came from traditional media. But that did not stop him from putting everyone under the same umbrella in the sense of new media and traditional media, and that can't be overlooked, because, as I said several weeks ago, I am assuming, sometimes it's not good to assume, but considering he's from traditional media, I've had the pleasure of working with traditional media and now, of course, new media. Traditional media is the same wherever you go, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in the United States, or whether you're in America. It's the same, the Old Boys Club. I don't think you guys need me to elaborate on the Old Boys Club, but what I do appreciate with what Mr. Earl Bailey did was, again, putting us under the same umbrella. As I said, he belongs to traditional media. Not good to assume, but he probably pissed a lot of people off in doing so. And I think the conversations that's been had over maybe the last week or so is probably evidence of that. People probably not wanting to see traditional and new media mixing together, which is a conversation worth having. I'm not sure if I want to have it right now, because I'm trying to keep as mellow as possible. Perhaps it's a conversation for another time, but I might just stick a pin in it and again just say, you know, big up to Mr. Bailey for giving us that level playing field as it relates to new media, you know, all the access that new media has now in terms of getting those audio for the press conferences. If you don't know how lucky you are, then clearly you're just probably used to the privilege, and the privilege wasn't there once upon a time. But yeah, don't underestimate the good work that he has done in terms of giving new media total access to what was once the Old Boys Club. Now it just feels like everybody's club, and that's how it should be. So you know how I go when it comes to my platform. I like to give people their flowers. I'm not into this whole giving people their flowers when they're no longer here. It's a massive pet peeve of mine. So yeah, so that's what I have to say for the first part of the show. You know, those warm big ups there to the JFF and their social media team, also to 876 Stream, and also to Mr. Earl Bailey as well. Now, back to what you guys can see on screen there with regards to the Jamaica Football Federation and that bit of positivity there. What you can see is taken from X, formerly known as Twitter. If you don't want to read this one, I'll go ahead and read it for you. It says, I think this might have been posted. What day is it today? This might have been posted yesterday. It's yesterday for me, maybe today for you guys. I'm already into my Thursday. So to avoid confusion, let's say it was posted today, right? About 5 hours ahead, 5 to 6 hours ahead of most of you. So let's say this one was posted today, although I think they might have actually been out the day before, right? Just for context. So it does say here, visiting the roots of a legend, the Reggae Boyz soaking in the vibes and history at the Bob Marley Museum before taking on the world. One love, one team, one heart. And it's something that I actually quite like. I think it's, you know, moments like these is long overdue. Just going to go through the pictures there before I continue what I'm saying. I like this picture. I might come back to that. That's obviously Don't Shoot Me, poster boy Leon Bailey, and he's clearly standing in front of the statue of one of the greatest artists ever. Whether that's not just from Jamaica, that's just globally. It's not hard for you to step outside your door and see a random person in a Bob Marley shirt. It is so common. It's like breathing in air, and that's our skipper, Andre Blake. I'm going to go back and just leave it on here. Sorry, where you've got like quite a few of the lads there taking a posing for a photograph, I should say. And I really do like this, and it adds to the positivity of what I was saying with regards to the Jamaica Football Federation. I think, I don't want to jump my gun. I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to say something and then they end up just throwing pie in my face. So I will say, from an outsider looking on with regards to what we're seeing with their improvements across social media, I think the JFF are probably now at a crossroad where they've either gone in one direction or they're about to go in a particular direction. And it's quite clear now for me anyways, and this is just my opinion, it's not a fact. For me, I think they're now seeing football as a business. Again, don't shoot me, it's just my opinion. I think they're now seeing football as a business, and I think that picture in front of you guys there on my screen is probably somewhat evidence to that. I think now we're clearly seeing them utilizing our culture to good effect. And again, another pet peeve of mine is that outsiders are always seeking to capitalize off our culture, but us, namely where sport is concerned and for context where football is concerned, we are so guilty of failing to do exactly what others are doing in terms of capitalizing off our culture, milking it dry and so on. But I think for what we're seeing now, the lads and the coaching staff stepping out, going to the Bob Marley Museum, I think for me, that's a step in the right direction. It's a clear indication of us embracing our culture. And I think that's wonderful, not just for the football and business side of things, but I think in terms of stepping in the right direction, I think that, it allows everyone to embrace the culture. It allows the Jamaican-born players to remind themselves of who they're representing, not that they need a reminder, but even for the new recruits, it's also giving them the opportunity to be introduced or to fully embrace their culture. And if they're not 100% connected to their Jamaican culture, and that's not for us to debate and say who is more Jamaican and who it isn't. That's not the purpose of what I'm saying. If they're not fully at that point yet, then these are the little things that's going to help them to buy into their culture. And I think when you're bringing people, like when you're looking at legends like a Bob Marley and you're going to a Bob Marley museum, I think that for me is a gentle reminder to the players and the coaching staff of the importance and the powerful influence of brand Jamaica. I think for me, arguably, it might sound a little bit biased, but arguably, I think for the most part, Jamaica is one of, if not the most influential brand in the world. Name another culture or country that does it better than us in terms of global influence. I think we're right up there. Whether you want to call it top 10, top 5, it doesn't matter. For an island our size, I think that we are absolutely impressive. So it's good to see them doing little things like that. It's probably no big deal to most people, but I think, this is how you help to form unity. This is how you help the players to, remind them who they are, what they're representing, reminding them of the legacy that came before them. And also, I'm not saying these lads are going to go out there and get close to a Bob Marley legacy in terms of what they could achieve in potentially qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. Obviously, the men's team haven't qualified for a men's senior team World Cup since 1998. But when you're looking at a Bob Marley statue and you're being around rich history that any other country would envy, you wouldn't want to say they're from the same birthplace as Bob Marley. That's a little reminder of just how important this country is, a reminder of who you play for. And I think for me, again, my opinion, I saw that the Jamaica Football Federation also I think they did like a collaboration post over on Instagram with the Bob Marley Museum. And maybe I'm jumping the gun here a bit, but I think that could potentially, maybe it's just wishful thinking, it could potentially signal a reconnection between the Jamaica Football Federation and Jamaica Football Federation and the Bob Marley Foundation. Again, just my opinion, I could be wrong. And you know, for me, in terms of this whole marketing, promotion, building harmony, a little bit surprised that Ajax have fully embraced Bob Marley, the Three Little Birds, and obviously their iconic Bob Marley inspired jersey. And I think what we're seeing now is the Jamaica Football Federation playing catch up. Of course, better late than never, but it's definitely wonderful to see what they're doing. So, you know, long may it continue. Hopefully, they continue to do more of the same, right? So you know how it goes when they're doing good. The least we can do is highlight that, because when they're doing bad, we're one of the first to make a song and dance about it, right? So the quarterfinals coming up. I think if I'm going to do a live watch along, I should say, of the game, I'll probably save my preview for the match. So maybe just before the match kicks off, I might just go ahead and do a short little preview for you guys. So I'm going to continue with the rest of the show. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the link to my stream in the comment section. So anyone wants to come on, you're more than welcome to. You already know the rules. Just keep it respectful. Definitely for myself, the guys in the comment section, and for whoever it is you're talking about, be it the coaching staff or the players, just keep it respectful. I'm not interested in personal opinions. You can just keep that to yourself. So yes, quarterfinals. That one is going to be played tomorrow, Thursday. Depending on your location, do utilize Google to see your kickoff time. I'm not going to give you a kickoff time because I'm probably going to confuse some of you. So you can see there on the screen, this one taken from Concacaf Nations League X account. Jamaica versus the United States, and this is the first of two legs. Here you can see where it says all-time series, 20 wins for the United States, 10 draws, and 3 wins for Jamaica. Stats, it's not really something that I play too heavily into. I don't rely too heavily on stats because things and times change. Context is so important, and you know, players come and go, head coaches come and go, environment change, and so on. And for what it's worth, for the most part, even though we're probably up against it statistically, at the end of the day, football is played on the day. So you know, you show up, you win. You don't show up, and you're probably made to pay the price. Let me go ahead and remove that so you guys can see what I can see fully. So again, I'm gonna go more into this with the watch along. If I'm not going to do a watch along, I think I'll still make an effort to come back and do a little preview for you guys. So this one again, home and away, so that's 2 ties. Jamaica playing first, followed by the United States. They're going to be playing leg 2, and that is going to be next Monday. So the 18th, again, do use Google to see if that's a Tuesday for you, and also what time the kickoff is likely to be. So scratching the surface with this one, you guys already know we have Steve McLaren as our head coach, and the United States, they have Mauricio Pochettino. So that is relatively 2 new head coaches in each of the dugout. And we're going to be going out neck and neck with these guys. I think we can probably say that we're both still in the honeymoon period. Honeymoon period for me is a dangerous one. It's easy for you to get carried away. I don't particularly like the honeymoon period because it's so it's unintentionally so easy for us to paper over cracks. So me, I'm not particularly a fan of honeymoon period because you could easily paper over cracks. And for what it's worth, in terms of both of those gaffers there, so McLaren and also Pochettino, Clearly, you don't need no one telling you this. It's quite obvious. As I said, 2 new head coaches in each of the dugouts. So that simply means, with context being key, they're quite clearly still getting to know each of their respective squads. I think it's squads, I should say. I don't think the dust has been settled for either team yet. I think the dust is still up in the air. So it remains to be seen how this particular match will play out. I'm going to see if I could go ahead and play the press conference there. How am I going to do this? I want to play the press conference, but I think I actually need to add it into my studio. I did add it in earlier on. I'm not sure what happened. It's actually there. Is it not? No, it's not. All right. So, oh, yes, it is. All right. So I'm going to play the press conference and have a listen with you guys. I couldn't make out some of the questions that were being asked. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, maybe old age is catching up on me, but I'm going to play the press conference there with you guys. And maybe we could just touch on a couple of the key takeaways. And then I'm going to segue and talk about the general, Mr. Leon Bailey. Okay, so you could go ahead and sit tight, put your feet up. I think the press conference with this one, it is about 17 minutes. Okay, so go ahead and make yourselves comfortable. If you can't hear the press conference in the next, let's say, less than 5 seconds, let me know in the comment section and I'll make the necessary amends. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. This is the pre-match press conference for Jamaica against the United States, first leg of the quarterfinals of the Nations League. Appreciate your support despite the inclement weather that we've had recently as well. Your presence here as well, punctually, greatly appreciated. So to my immediate left, we have the head coach of the Jamaica senior men's national team, Coach Steve McLaren, and to his immediate left as well, Isaac Hayden, Reggae Boyz midfielder. Before we open the floor for some questions, we just want to have a few opening remarks from our head coach McLaren before we get into the questions. Coach?
Okay, I think the first is quite a sad note in the fact that the passing of Miss Ivy, a favourite amongst the staff at the JFF. She will be sadly missed, and I will miss my coffee because she gave me the coffee on every press conference at the beginning when I came over. Beautiful woman. Condolences to her family, and yeah, so we're really sad about that. I'd like to commemorate that. The game, we're really looking forward to. The main goal was to get out the group and was to get to this stage, which gives us an opportunity to play against a big team. And there's no bigger team than the USA, with a new coach, world-class coach, good players. This is a step up and a test really for how far we've come and where we need to get to. So we're looking forward to that. The majority of the squad have arrived, apart from Mikel Antonio, who has a suspension for 1 game, and we're hoping to get him for the 2nd game. And Ethan Pinnock, who picked up a knock at the weekend on his hip, he's under medical treatment with his club, having to have scans. We're constantly in contact with him every day, and we're hoping that at some stage, maybe not for this game, but for the 2nd game, he can come and join us. Bobby Reid is missing. His wife has just given birth to a baby son, so congratulations also to him, his wife and family. And yeah, we're looking forward to the game, and I'm looking forward to and be working with Isaac for 2-3 days now, and it was great to get him over. The commitment that he showed to do that, taking the responsibility of coming over himself. We've got to thank the JFF, the president, Roy Simpson, all those involved in making sure that Isaac could join us earlier and get the experience of the camp, where the goal, as always, is World Cup qualification, and this is just a stepping stone to increasing and developing and broadening the squad. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. We'll now open the floor for questions. Daniel, do you want to kick us off?
All right, Coach. In terms of your messaging to the players over the last 4 games, you said that you wanted them to be brave in possession. knowing that we are playing against a tough Concacaf team in USA, is it the same message, or is it more of an adaptation where you say let's suffer out of position a bit and try to catch them on the counter, that type of thing?
I think there are exactly two words, or two statements that we've made to the team is adaptability. This is a different opponent, and I've watched the games previous, especially the last one, and I don't know what the possession stats were, but not very high for Jamaica. But that doesn't mean that you don't win football matches that way, and very close to doing that. So we have to adapt every game to what we're doing, and I have to as well, because Concacaf is different. Isaac will find that out. You know, playing Honduras, playing Nicaragua, playing Cuba, now USA will be totally different. I think you have your own principles, but you also have to adapt, but stick to what you do. And one of them is exactly being difficult, hard to beat. But the other message is we have to be better on the ball. We have to deal with the ball better. We have to make sure that we have the belief, the confidence and bravery especially. And when I looked at the last game, the US came very close. You know, the only thing, I was talking to Meron and people who were involved, players involved in that yes, was good, but we needed to keep the ball better, because all the chances were for the USA was transitions when Jamaica gave the ball away. So we have to be careful of that.
Yeah, in terms of the wide position, you were impressed with Cephas and Norman Campbell and Kaheem Dixon's cameo against Honduras. Does that kind of signify the type of importance tomorrow's game that Leon will have, knowing the quality that he brings to that position?
You know, I think when I looked at the squad and the talent that we've got, it's one of the reasons why I came here, because of the talent. And we've got talent in wide areas. Very good. We already knew about Kaheem, we already knew about Leon, Damari, Cephas. It's great. We've introduced Norman Campbell as well. So we have also Tyreek McGee, who can play in that area, wide on the right. We have good wide players. We have good speed, athleticism. That's one of our strengths, and that is something that I know. It's no secret. That's something which, you know, I'm positive the USA will look at and know a lot from the last game. So we need to use that. We need to adapt. We need to defend very well. We know that. We need to be organised. We need to be very good on transition and very good with the ball.
All right, thanks very much, Daniel. Jordan?
Good day, coach. Question to Isaac though. Isaac, we're just wondering if you have been watching Jamaican football, you know, if you have been keeping tabs on the national team, and wondering what can you offer to this midfield, if you know that we're having midfield problems. Wondering what kind of player are you and what can you offer to this team?
Yeah, first of all, fantastic to be here. I have been watching a lot of the games. I've been in contact with the coach now for a little while, obviously talking about things and how I can help the team. I think, you know, if people have watched me play, they'll know that I'm a highly committed player. Obviously defensively, probably stronger than going forwards. But I think it's, you know, creating that balance between attack and defence is probably my best attribute of the game. Making sure that rest defence is good, turnovers, duels, making sure that defensively we're as solid as possible, and then it gives the chance, like the coach has said, the attacking players that we've got in the team to do the damage. As I said, it's been a long time coming. It's been something that, you know, I've spoken to the previous coach about. Didn't feel that it was quite ready for me. I had a couple of bad injuries a couple of years ago, so international football at that stage was not really something that I thought was possible. Now I'm over the injuries, and I'm, you know, as match fit as I can be, considering the game time that I've had so far. You know, I feel ready and feel good to contribute.
Question to coach. Coach, how much what do you think that Aiden can offer to this team, and how much of a pull was it that you are already aware of his time?
Yeah,
His time at Newcastle.
Yeah, I knew Isaac for many, many years. Tremendous talent. And his move to Newcastle was, I thought, an excellent move for him, which it was initially. But unfortunately, as with all footballers, when you get injuries, it can curtail the momentum in your career, can stall it a bit, and that's what's happened. He's fought for 2 or 3 years to get back to the level that he was, and we're hoping to add Jamaica to that stepping stone, that he's able to put himself forward onto a platform in which it's possible that he can play international football, different experience, unique experience, but also one in which, you know, our target is the qualification for the World Cup. To play in a World Cup must be a dream for every player.
One more question, Coach, one more question. What do you know about the mentality of this crop that you have here? What have you learned about them?
The group?
As it relates to the mentality.
Yeah, the group is, they're a great group. Isaac he's come in, and yeah, as someone said to me this morning, the vibe is very good, eh? And it is, and that's what I like. The energy in the room, the attitude of the players. You know, we put ourselves under severe pressure by not beating Cuba here, which we should have done. And then we had to win in Honduras. We had to draw against Honduras here. We had to win in Nicaragua, which is always difficult. So the players have shown that, they've got that mentality to win games, and different ways to win games. That's important. We'll need all them ingredients against a very, very good and very strong USA team.
Thanks, Jordan. Matthew? All right, Daniel Jarrett, anything from you?
My question is to Isaac. How are you assimilating in the current squad? What's it like being around the gentlemen around you?
It's been really, really good. Everyone's been so welcoming, not just the players, the staff. You know, obviously I know a lot of the players already that I've either played with before or I've played against. You know, coming in on the flight, even with Leon Bailey, you know, having discussions about the history of Jamaica team and, you know, what it's been like before was really, really helpful. And as I said, it's been a really good couple of days. Obviously the most important things are the games. So as I said, everyone's just looking forward to tomorrow now and hopefully putting on a good performance and getting a good start in the 2 games.
Thank you, Daniel. Eddie?
Morning, Coach. This US team still in transition, and new coach with Pochettino. You're aware of his work. Do you think you have some form of advantage or benefit knowing that you know the coach?
I don't think so. It's normally not coach against coach. It's 11 against 11, and the bench you make a difference. So I don't think that will be. You're absolutely right. He's just taken over. He's in transition. I'm probably in the same situation as well. And we're both searching for the right team and the right balance and the right formula. You know, as I say, over 4 games we've had, I don't think I found it yet. I still think we've a long way to go. But I'm so encouraged by what I've seen over the 4 games that I'm excited about the future. And we got through the group, and we wanted a big game, an exciting game. And as I said before, there's none bigger than the USA.
Any follow-up, Eddie? All right, Livy?
Yes, Coach. You're mentioning something similar to what I was going to ask. Based on your progression to this point, basically, what are you expecting from the Jamaican team tomorrow? And any concerns you have with the team in particular going into that game?
I mean, obviously, yeah. I think the main thing is that we know we've got talent, we know we've got potential. I think the key thing, and we've talked a lot about it from day one, is consistency. So that we don't see one Jamaica one game and then another type of Jamaica the next game. We need to be consistent in what we do, in our principles, in our rules, in the way that we work, in the way that we train. And with that consistency will come consistency of performance, and that's how you progress and get better, and that's how we will qualify for the World Cup, by being more consistent. Yes, adding to the quality of the squad, but also maintaining the attitude, the vibe, as they say, the togetherness of the team. That's the most important thing.
Isaac, what is your expectation of yourself as you join up with the Reggae Boyz and look forward to your first?
I think just do my best. As I said, I'm a fully committed player. Anyone that knows me or see me play knows that I'm a highly committed player and someone that gives 110% every moment of every game, every training session. I always want to win. So I think the main thing for me, being my first camp, is obviously I'm settling in really well. Like the coach just mentioned, the long-term aim of this situation is to try and get to the World Cup. Obviously we've got 2 massive games coming up, and I think it's just for me to bed in, contribute as much as I can, however many minutes that is, and give 110% and see where that takes us.
Jamaica has been courting you for some time. What gave you the push this time around?
I think, as I said, speaking to the coach and what he's trying to do with the team going forwards, and I think, you know, my family was a big part. You know, my dad is born in Jamaica. He left when he was a young boy, but he's still got massive roots to Jamaica, and I think he was big in convincing me or saying to me that I think this is something that you should do, you know, and it's a very proud moment for him. And as I said, I think it's one of those opportunities where it's too good to turn down, you know, to try and help build a legacy for Jamaica, help encourage the younger players that are coming through, try and be a role model for them. And as I said, reaching the World Cup is obviously the ultimate game for this country.
That's one more for Coach. How you see this USA team? How you plan to approach the game in a particular way to get the result of it?
Yeah, same as we approach every game. You know, be organised, be hard to beat, be good on the ball, good in possession. And this game, when I see USA, I see us. It could be a transition game, and we have to transition better than they do. So we have to defend well. So that's what I see. Tough game, good players they've got. They're playing around Europe, top leagues in Italy, top 5 teams. So this is, you know, as always, not going to be easy. But this is why you're in football, for a test like this. So it's a gauge as to where are we at this present moment. And after the game tomorrow night, we'll know a lot more than we did before.
Fans weren't too happy for the last 2-1 result. Can we deliver tonight? Are you confident that we can deliver tomorrow night?
Yeah, you know, we're also, we liked the Cuba game without getting the goals. The Honduras game was a strange game. It was as if both teams were happy with the draw because of the result of the other game. So that was a strange game. And this is going to be totally different. But you're absolutely right. The key thing is that we try and make what people say is this is the office again. So people will fear coming here.
Thanks, Livy. Mr. Blake.
Morning, Coach. Morning, Isaac. Morning, Blake. Cataract, Ultras, and anyway, the sports. First question, Coach, to you. The significance of this game, Jamaica versus USA, what we the fans call the Visa Derby. Many Jamaicans overseas, in the United States and here, we're very proud of our island. Are you aware of the importance of the rivalry between the USA and Jamaica? One, and they've been at the, let's say, the lucky end of some dubious decisions in the past. The phantom penalty in '98 coming right up to getting away in the last minute of the game in the last Nations League. How would you get us across the line, and are you aware of the intense rivalry between Jamaica and USA?
I think so. I hope the players obviously know it more than I do, and the fans also. And that's very important. The fans are going to be so big for us tomorrow. However we play, whatever we do, they've got to be our 12th man and help us create the office, as they say. So we're well aware of that, and talking to the players, they know what they have to do. They know how tough this game will be, and you know, during the game, 90 minutes, whatever it is about the players, not about the coaches. They have to perform, and they have to have the will and the want to win, and I'm positive our guys will want that.
I have a question to Isaac as a coach. We've been, the CDM position has been our Achilles heel for a long time. We've been searching for a replacement for Anthony Grant at that number 6 for a true CDM, so we're happy that you've been able to recruit Isaac. Could you tell us what you see him as a CDM, what qualities he brings, and Isaac, could you tell us what kind of CDM? Are you that dog, are you that fighter, leave everything on the field? Do you still have that in you as you've been back in your younger Arsenal days coming through, or are you a more finesse kind of CDM? Let the fans know, please.
Go on.
Okay, I'll answer that first.
Please.
I think it doesn't matter how old you get. You know, I've still got that dog in me. You know, I'm a fighter. You know, I give everything from minute 0 to minute 100 if it's that long. You know, that's always going to be in me. It's never going to leave me. Obviously, as you get older, you learn the game a little bit more. You can read the game a bit better than you do when you're a younger age. But no, the duels, the physicality, that's still my game. Obviously, on the ball, I've certainly improved to be a bit more of a controller. But as I said, the defensive side of my game, that's me.
Coach, you want to see what you saw technically in Isaac that you would bring to the number 6 position and your overall strategy as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, looking from afar, I've followed Isaac's career, and as you say, from the Arsenal days and all the way through. And a player with great talent, and as I say, unfortunate to get injuries, which can curtail a career. But at the age now, the game becomes not easy, but you start to read it better, use your experience more, and that's what we need. We need someone who is an expert in that position. And I think that person, that midfield, what we're trying to do, and we haven't quite got it at the present moment, is that link from the back to the front, which is probably one of the reasons why we're not creating enough. So that's one of the responsibilities when Isaac plays, is to create that link from the back to the front, to have the ability to receive the ball with 1 the back to goal, 2 facing the goal, 3 side on, get out of tight areas. We know the defensive side. We know that he's smart. Interceptions are key. But like I said, we'll come full circle. Dealing with the ball is one of our major goals with this team. So everybody, by the time next year comes around and World Cup qualification, we want everybody in the team who are able to deal with the ball, take the ball. That's the goalkeeper, all the way through the bench. And you know, we're starting to build that, but we've still got a long way to go.
MG.
And just to connect to the fans in Jamaica, could you tell us where your father is from, where in Jamaica you have your roots?
Yeah, St. Catherine was where my father was from. And then I said both my grandparents on that side were also born in Jamaica. So yeah, it's a long line of heritage there.
MG?
MG Sports here. Coach, for the many years the USA team have gotten the better of us in many different facets. A big point of part of that is the mentality. Even though sometimes they put out not the strongest team and we have our strongest team on the pitch, they still will get that edge over us. 1 or 2 times in recent history would have gotten a good game or so from them and would have gotten the result on our side, but the majority of the time it's on their side, despite the squad that they put out. As the coach of the team, how important is it for you to evaluate these players mentally and also getting someone, a specialist in that specific area, to evaluate the players being in around the squad, just to analyze and see how best they can assist in getting the players over the line?
Yeah, good question. You're absolutely right. In terms of when we came here and you see the talent on the field, And you see why we're striving for consistency. Consistency is about mentality. Mentality is about coming to the camp. It's about coming on time. It's about intense in training. It's about competition. It's about every day displaying how good a player you are and the mentality. And it's about the ups and the downs. That's what resilience is about, and strong mentality. You build that, it grows. And you're absolutely right. This USA team have always got the better. And that can take you one way or the other. It can make you say, learn from that and come back stronger next time, or no belief, no confidence. We're not playing these. We never win against these. We never do that. We don't want that attitude. Okay, if we lose, no problem. You know, they were that close the last time, so they're getting closer, and it's only a matter of time. As long as we keep belief and confidence, and not look at the opponent with fear, look at the opponent as a challenge. So I hope that's what the players tomorrow will look at the USA. What a challenge this game is. That's what football is all about. Because once you've got fear, you get inconsistency.
Garfield, lastly.
Morning, coach. A couple of changes from the last couple of games. Bobby out, Leon back, Shamar back. How much will that influence, one, your starting 11, two, your approach to the game?
Massively. You know, I think we've introduced certain players. Norman Campbell, Tyreek McGee, done really well. Give us food for thought. We'll miss Mikel because he's kind of our talisman, our focal point up there. We'll miss him. We'll miss Ethan for the first leg, but it's an opportunity for other players to come in. And everybody's a leader out there, and that's what we need tomorrow. We need, I think the last question was right, strong mentality to win the game. More than probably talent, more than anything. But we need to be flexible, we need to be adaptable, and we need to try things as well. And that's all towards the goal of World Cup 26. So this is a journey, and this is just a process, and it's another step.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
That is the end of the press conference there, guys. Hopefully you guys could hear it in the comment section. I didn't hear you lot ask me to turn anything up. Everything was turned up to the max, my end. It's sounding a little bit echoey. I probably need to turn down my audio now. Yeah, if I sound a little bit too loud, let me know in the comment section. So yeah, guys, that was the audio. That was the press conference. Let me know what you make of what was said there. From the gaffer Steve McLaren, and also the new recruit, whether he's going to be making a cameo, or maybe he's going to be making of a full debut, or perhaps not really sure if that is Steve McLaren's intentions. Nevertheless, we have a new recruit in camp in Isaac Hayden. So let me know what you guys make of the new recruit of Isaac Hayden, and also some of the key takeaways there taken from Steve McLaren with regards to the questions they put to him by the reporters in the room. I think before I get on to Isaac Hayden, a couple of the things there that stood out to me with regards to what McLaren said, I think it's probably a few things that he has already echoed in previous press conferences. You know, so he touched on things like, sorry if you guys saw me with my head down, I was like making a couple notes, which I actually need to like look down on for the time being. So he touched on a couple of things there with regards to being organized, transitional play, echoing the importance of consistency, utilizing our best traits. So, you know, the fact that we have good speed, we can embrace or integrate our athleticism within the squad. He touched on also the wide areas. Those are some of our key components there, key factors that we could tap into with our speed, athleticism, and also the wide players there. So obviously he touched on Leon Bailey back in the squad for the first time in what is that, over a year now, since he was unavailable for a number of reasons. Last reason with regards to missing the previous camp back in October is in relation to injury from injury there that he picked up with Aston Villa. I believe that one dates back to the game against Bobby Reed's Leicester City. So again, echoing some of the stuff there that Steve McLaren touched on, adaptability, which funny enough is a few things that we've also touched on in separate live streams as it relates to the Reggae Boyz and how we should play going forward. I think clearly he appears to be doing his homework there, and he must be doing his homework because he's echoing a lot of things there that resonates well with us in terms of the adaptability. I think that's a massive plus. That's something that we've been guilty of not implementing, or perhaps I shouldn't say implementing because that's probably doing previous gaffers a disservice, but perhaps it's better to say we haven't executed our adaptability when it comes to playing against our opponents. The idea of implementing or having it in your arsenal, different strokes for different folks, definitely works in many more ways than one. And you can't play like you can't, echoing some of the stuff that he said, paraphrasing how we play against the likes of Nicaragua and Honduras naturally will be or should be different to how we'll play against the likes of your United States or your Mexico for obvious reasons. For me, those two there are our most fierce rivalry. I think I would put the USA slightly above Mexico in terms of rivalry, but that's more of a personal thing, combination of football and athletics, perhaps for me. So yeah, a couple key takeaways there, which I think resonated well with myself. I'm not sure what you guys picked up on. And principles, he touched on principles, good principles. I'm sure he's probably trying to align that with our personal values as well. Be it as perhaps is it values and principles just as a team, or do you extend that broadly? So everything that comes with representing Jamaica, so from the Football Federation filtering down to coaching staff, subsequently the team, and extending out to the fan base as well. I think paraphrasing on one thing that he touched on, I think someone asked him about again paraphrasing if he knows something along the lines of if he knows about the rivalry between the USA and us, and wasn't particularly sold by his response, if I'm being honest with you. Because yes, of course, obviously the fans know, unless you're extremely new to watching either the Reggae Girls or the Reggae Boys play. I mean, once you've been watching either team play, or like I said, maybe you come from an athletics background, naturally there's a rivalry there between us and the USA. So that was probably the only raised eyebrow moment I had listening to what he was saying there about paraphrasing. I think he said something along the lines of he hopes the fans know the rivalry. Of course, they know the rivalry. I hope you know the rivalry more so than the fans. And also, when it comes to Isaac Hayden, again, in line for either a cameo or a full debut, guess we have to wait until tomorrow to see what remains to be the case. Some good takeaways there. It's good to hear that he said that he has been watching from afar, watching the games there from a distance. So I think he's probably trying to, or has already, given that I'm not sure how many number of games he's watched. I think, unless I heard incorrectly, I think it appears that he has been watching since perhaps the previous gaffer. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but seemed like he might have been watching a couple of the Reggae Boyz games there, even when the previous gaffer, Jaime Hal Grimston, was in charge. So he should have a general understanding as to how we play and how he can fit into said system that's presented to him. And I'm assuming that is the case because he spoke about a key teething issue for us, which obviously is in that heart of the midfield, or as I like to call it, the engine. Paraphrasing, he touched on things like being, I'm assuming that bridging the gap between attack and defense. He spoke about trying to add some balance there into the heart of the midfield, which I'm assuming, you know, obviously is music to many of your ears. So, and he also said wanting to basically bring balance to the midfield, and in doing so enabling the attackers to do damage. So clearly that's exactly what we need. We need more players like that, particularly where that hole is in midfield, because sometimes it's far too easy to run through our midfield, or the midfield for me, it still has a open question mark. There is no one there that has consistently grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and just handled business, or is able to do what we need someone to do, which is echoing what Isaac Hayden said in terms of bridging the gap, my apologies, with the balance of, you know, being able to keep a close relationship there with the back line, and also play a role in bringing the attackers, or helping the attackers to move forward, and being pivotal in the final third. He's touched on, I think it was the gaffer there that touched on this paraphrase, and this opportunity being a stepping stone. Not really going to read too much in that, open to interpretation naturally, but I think in fairness, everything in life, if we want to be honest with ourselves, is somewhat a stepping stone. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Again, I'm paraphrasing. You guys can go back and listen to the audio. But yeah, everything in life, if we're being honest with ourselves, as it relates to job, you're going to be looking at what new job there is that's able to propel you to the next level, right? So I'm not going to read too heavily into that. That one there, like I said, is open to interpretation, but I think it's important for us to remind ourselves that, you know, football is a job for these guys, and of course you're going to be looking for the stepping stone as you would in your normal day-to-day life. So I'm not going to read too heavily into that. I think for Isaac Hayden, given what's going on with him at club level, I was actually taken aback that he still plays for Newcastle United, because, you know, with the injuries there in recent years, I actually thought that he had long since moved on. So yeah, I was taken aback that he still belongs to the Toons. But I think an opportunity like this, depending on how well it does, not just tomorrow, but, you know, long term, playing for Jamaica, I think it can only benefit him most certainly if we go on to qualify for 2026, the FIFA Men's World Cup, the next stage in the next edition of the FIFA Men's World Cup. You know, we all know that these competitions, not just the FIFA Men's World Cup, the FIFA Men's World Cup is the pinnacle, but before you get to all of that, you have the different rounds of respective competitions across the globe. And, you know, that in itself is your small shopping window. The World Cup is the biggest shopping window for any player, especially those up and coming players, or in Isaac Hayden's position, a player who's fallen out of favor at his current club, and he's probably looking to make one final big move. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's about 29 years old. So most certainly no longer a spring chicken, 30 next year. So the next move for him is likely, hopefully it goes according to God's plan, and he's able to get a deserved move where he's able to secure that salary that could help take care of him and his family, because that is his 9 to 5. But going back to Jamaica as it relates, for someone like Isaac Hayden, taking into consideration the difficulties there with him trying to get back into Eddie Howe's good books and play for the Toons again, play Premier League football, he's definitely up against it. But I think opportunities like these, depending on how well it goes, could definitely put him in pole position into the possibility of getting some regular football under his belt. And again, you know, for me, potentially putting him in the shop window, biggest shop window for any footballer, goes without saying, is the World Cup. And you know what really was almost like perked me up a little bit there was when he was talking about being on the flight and paraphrasing. He had a history lesson from Leon Bailey. So I know Leon Bailey for some people is a bit like Marmite. You either like him or you don't. Some people have put him to bed and wash their hands of him, but clearly he does do some good for the team, and there are players out there that still respect him and hold him in high regard. And it's good to see. It's not the first time that we've heard Leon Bailey's name mentioned when it comes to new recruits, and him almost like putting an arm around these players and helping to introduce them or give them a warm welcome into the team. So little stuff like that definitely can't be ignored when it comes to someone like your Leon Bailey, or for anyone for that matter. And again, as it relates to the recruitment there of Isaac Hayden, again, backtracking on what I've said, with regards to my assumption, my thought process with the players that's been recruited in recent years, the likes of your Damari Gray, your Mason Holgate, and now you've got Isaac Hayden, obviously also Karoy Anderson, and also Dexter Lambakisa. Those caliber of players to me, from an outsider looking on without knowing them, it does seem like that is the formula that the Jamaica Football Federation are seeking to operate. Whoever came up with that formula, I'm not sure if it was done by the previous gaffer, or if it was just thought of by the Jamaica Football Federation, or it was done by previous head coaches and they've just latched onto it. But those caliber of players to me, clear role models, again, without knowing them on a personal level. And I think that is done with intent. I think the idea is to get players into the squad who are role models. And I think that's quite important, because Isaac Hayden himself spoke about wanting to be a role model for the next generation. And that is absolutely pivotal. Those are the type of players that you want in the team. You want lads that's going to come into the team and be a role model to the next generation, because for what it's worth, football, just like any other thing, whether it's entertainment, where music or film, movie, whatever you want to call it, is concerned, football is still looked at by a lot of young people, and they idolize athletes, they idolize the track stars, and equally they idolize footballers as well. There will be plenty kids who look at the Reggae Boyz and want to be like them. Same goes for their female counterparts. So that was quite soothing to hear Isaac Hayden talk about, wanting to be a role model. It just goes that, those are the players that you want in the squad. You don't really want people that's just all for themselves. Obviously, you have to make a decision that benefits you, but you don't want people that's just about me. So yeah, I liked what was one of the best thing, I think, best takeaway for me with Isaac Hayden, hearing him talk about wanting to be a role model and building a legacy. Liked hearing him talk about wanting to build a legacy. Conrad said he still doesn't know the players. Who are you referring to? I think you need to bring me up to speed. Maverick, I don't know what you was talking about with one of your comments. Rain Scorpio 1983. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys kind of lost me with a couple of your comments, hence not picking up on them. But if you're still there, go ahead and bring me up to speed, because I don't really know what you guys are talking about when it comes to certain topics. Remember, I wasn't streaming for the last couple of days. I've already said the reason why, so I'm not going to go back over it. So I think now it's time to talk about the general. Shamar Bailey, Shamali, wow, sorry. Shamar and Bailey needs to show up and out from under the cellar. That is from Mr. Wayne Evans. So we're going to be talking about General Bailey. But before I get into that, I think we can go ahead and play another audio there. And this one is I'm gonna play it and then give my opinion. Okay, so this one is less than 2 minutes, I believe, and it is for the Aston Villa man, Leon Bailey. So if you can't hear the audio in the next, let's say, 5 seconds, let me know and I'll do some tweaks my end, okay?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, the general box, they don't know.
Spread them out like piece of pepperoni. A bad man thing, be a step around me.
Feels good, it feels amazing. It's been exactly 1 year since I haven't been here, and time has passed, and definitely miss being here. It's a great feeling to be back home as well. you know, getting some sun, being with the boys, you know, meeting a new coach. It's been good. He's actually a very good individual that I respect a lot. I knew a lot about him before, and you know, now having him here is a good feeling. Before I met him now for the first time, we had a good connection, or should I say a good bond, because we were speaking a lot before we even actually met in person. So it felt really good to meet him, and you know, now working with him it's been good. I like what he's about, and he's just a great individual. He has a great character, which I like, and you know, he's very, very, very good with the players, and it's been something that I was excited about, because I knew that he had a great personality, and to see it with the players, it's amazing to see. Testing 1, few, 3. Yeah, well, you know, the general box, they don't know.
So yeah, that was a relatively short audio there from Leon Bailey. I think, you know, this one definitely needs to be said in the sense that context is key with everything. Obviously, I wasn't in the room. I think this one was probably led by, I am assuming, based on the setup, is quite clear. That's an 876 stream setup. I think you can kind of sense their house style. So I think that's an 876 stream, potentially interview led there by 876 stream. Not sure who was conducting the interview from the Jamaica Football Federations. And so again, my assumption with this one is that it appears that it was a Q&A. So, you know, questions and answers, with the questions being edited out. And I'm saying that to say, because I know before I get into the rest of my thoughts there from that particular video there that was distributed with us. Again, context is key for me. It again seems like it's a Q&A. I know I wasn't in the room, but I think he was probably, how he came to say the general is back, I think that one is probably maybe asked to him. So something along the lines of, the general is back, how are you feeling, right? I think, because if you listen to the conversation there, quite clearly he's been, although the edited is done well, there's little pauses between each what do you want to call it, answer that's given to him, right? There's a little bit of a pause there, so there's an indication there that there's clearly questions that's being asked to him. So I think that's how he came to saying the general is back, because like I said, I think maybe a very simple question was asked to him, the general is back, how are you feeling? But when you go ahead and you make those type of talks, that is one half of the argument. The other opinion that I have in mind, and I think both of them is a positive take, when you make those type of talk there, when you're saying the general is back, you really have to let your foot do the talking, right? You really have to let your actions match your talking. And yes, it is tongue in cheek, but I think for the Bailey out, for the individuals there who aren't a fan of Leon Bailey, they're not going to see the comical side of it. They're only going to see the serious side, and him saying that the general is back. Arguably, I think if we're being honest with ourselves, we can say for the most part, he has largely underperformed for us. And some of the fan base there still feel that he disrespected our nation, and it's probably hard for some of them to forgive him, amongst multiple reasons. Yet to get in a groove where Aston Villa is concerned, and of course, again, context is key, that there is due to his injury there that he picked up back in October, if I'm not mistaken. My thing with Leon Bailey, as someone who was watching him when he was playing in Bundesliga, is me personally, despite all the fireworks that he set off last year, and we're going to touch on that. For me, we've not, and do correct me if I'm wrong there in the comment section, but I do not feel like we have seen that Bayer Leverkusen Leon Bailey, not just where Jamaica is concerned, but just broadly speaking, even for Aston Villa. You know, I want to see that, you know, bend it like Bailey. You know, I want to see all those. And if you watched him when he was playing for Leverkusen, then you know exactly what I'm referring to. But as I said, you know, since he's left Leverkusen, I don't think he has consistently surpassed those performances there that he did for the German side. And of course, coaching has always been a issue. Even when it was at Leverkusen, at one point it seemed like he was out of favor. I think it might have been in his final stint with them, maybe like the final. I think it was like his final season with them, like final like league campaign, for example, with them, where they potentially, I think, memory serves me well, they changed coaches, and clearly he just Crystal, you work for Scotland. You got to explain, Mr. Evans. I thought you said you was leaving. You got to explain with that one. I'm intrigued. Yeah, like I was saying with Leon Bailey, yeah, we've not seen the best of him, but obviously this context is key. Even when he was in the final season or final months with Bayer Leverkusen, memory served me well. Little bit of a coaching issue there. I think Bayer had gotten rid of their coach and another coach came in, and you know how it goes when different coaches come in, they have their favorites. So naturally you have to kind of prove yourself, right? And I think that's how that one went for Leon Bailey before he subsequently moved on to Aston Villa. With Aston Villa, we all know what happened if you watch Premier League football. Again, coaching issues. One moment, guys. One moment. Sorry about that, guys. Again, coaching issues there with when he first arrived at Aston Villa during his first couple of seasons there with Aston Villa, different gaffers, especially when he was playing under Steven Gerrard. I think it's safe to say that under Steven Gerrard, he looked massively out of favor. I think many assumed that he would go on to being shipped out. Many jump into conclusion as to where he'd be playing football, but you know, under Unai Emery, things are looking up. Things have gone on a upward trajectory. I still don't think we've seen that Bayer Leverkusen, Leon Bailey. You know, some of the stuff that he produced in the Bundesliga was just magical, especially when he played against teams like Bayern Munich, and this was not a watered down Bayern Munich. You know, memory serves me well. One fixture there that stood out was back in the 2019 campaign. I think it was around about December time where he scored like 2 goals, a brace against Bayern Munich, helping to beat the Giants basically 2-1. And that at that time, that was the first time that Bayer Leverkusen had beaten Munich since somewhat, let's say, October 2012. So that was a bit of history there that was played in his back pocket and orchestrated by him. And you can go back and we've seen some fabulous games there with Leon Bailey against Bayern Munich. So for me, he's not touched that Bayer Leverkusen level yet. You know, of course, like I said, take nothing away from him under Unai Emery. It's different gravy, and I'm not even comparing that to the Bayer Leverkusen Leon Bailey. I'm comparing that to the Steven Gerrard Bailey. He's different gravy. Yeah, I would like to see him get to that moment in his career again where he's just playing out his socks. And yes, of course, last season, echoing myself, he played a pivotal role in bringing Aston Villa back to familiar heights, in them going back to Champions League. I think that was the first time last season, the first time returning to Champions League for a little over 4 decades. So there's some positivity there. And when we're talking about the Premier League and the drama from last season, you know, he stuffed Manchester City like a Christmas turkey, absolutely stuffed them and sent them packing. And then he shot the Gunners with their own cannon. And in doing so, basically, dented their attempts in wanting to seal a Premier League title. So, you know, a couple of teams there that he has put to bed. You've got the big Bayern Munich in Bundesliga. He comes over to the Premier League, find a manager that knows how to get the best out of him or nearing the best out of him. And he's showing up in big games, big moments. So saying that to say he is not a stranger. So whether it's tongue in cheek where he's saying, The general is back. Make of that what you will. But let's not act like he's a fluke. Let's not act like he's a fraud, because he has done it in two of the best leagues in the world. Done it in the Bundesliga. He's done it in the Premier League in terms of stepping up in those big games, tense moments. He's done it, and he scored some delightful goals in doing so. So now I am now looking at Leon Bailey. Yeah, the general is back, but I'm now looking and say, is that so? When it comes to your country, can he do it? Or can't he do it? I think those are the big question marks there as it relates to Leon Bailey. Is it going to be a case where the past is still present? The past, for what it's worth, for the most part, it is unfortunately underwhelming. As it relates to the 12th man, I'm sure he knows Jamaicans can definitely hold a grudge, and it seems as if he rubbed a couple of the fan base up the wrong way, and many of them have written him off. Others, however, are willing to give him a chance and willing for him to put things right. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to step up to the plate and give us a bit of that Bayer Leverkusen Leon Bailey, because I think that's the best version of Leon Bailey. What he did with Leverkusen, I don't think he's surpassed that just yet. But you know, you can't make a chat like the general is back. Again, I do think it was a Q&A. I do think the whole general that he touched on, I think that was probably said to him in a question and he just repeated it. But nevertheless, it left the horse's mouth, and when you make a big talk like that, you pretty much have to deliver. And you know, of course, I've said it, you know, the wolves are out for him. He's firmly got the target on his back, and now is a wonderful opportunity for him to step up to the plate and deliver. And perhaps you can't get a bigger game than this in terms of history, further history awaits. He's already, like I said, created history elsewhere in his playing career where clubs are concerned. The latest being helping Aston Villa, one of England's most successful clubs, to return to the big league in the Champions League. So for me, now it's time for him to do the same with Jamaica on a big stage. Some people probably not best sold on Concacaf. I think not Concacaf, Nations League. I think Nations League is one of those competitions there that people probably feel like it's just one competition too much. I think too many. I think when Nations League was introduced, I was just like, really, another competition? So, you know, put personal feelings to the side. It's still a competition. Whether you feel it's a big stage or not, that's debatable. But when you're talking about quarterfinals, it is a big moment. You beat USA, you never know. Maybe you could go on to winning the whole thing, because USA have been the holders of the CONCACAF Nations League since its introduction. So if you can send them packing and do so in the return leg as well as the first leg, then I think that does, one, tell you, it puts you in a good state mentally, where your confidence is concerned, where your self-belief is concerned. And perhaps it also intentionally or unintentionally send a message to the rest of CONCACAF, where the rest of the countries there are concerned. If you can beat Canada and also beat then USA, then that does a great deal of confidence for you. And I think those are the things that we need to work towards. I think for years they've been like a pain to us. You know, they've been a pain in the backside, and now you kind of want to get the monkey off the back. Now you kind of want to step up and be one of the big boys in the conversation. And this is probably a wonderful, maybe it's debatable whether you think it's the best opportunity or not, taking into consideration the context around the selection of each of the squads, not just Jamaica and not just the USA. And of course, you have to think of the conversation there around the head coach position, the fact that they're still quite new to their new employers, and what that means and how that will pan out. As I said, this is pretty much still the honeymoon period. Of course, due to not being available to us for over a year now. Of course, he wasn't there for the third place match, CONCACAF Nations League match against Panama, but he would have, I'm assuming, watched from a distance. And I'm sure, with that being said, he would want a piece of what the lads have already tasted, because that, to me, yes, some people think they're a little bit too good, good for some of the 12th man, I should say, probably think they're a little bit too good for Concacaf Nations League third place. I just think sometimes our fan base need to be a bit realistic with themselves and realize who we are and where we're at in terms of the position of our succession plan. So third place is probably exactly what we deserve then. This time round, it remains to be seen where we'll end up. But yeah, it's a wonderful match. I think, with the exception of Mexico, as I said, I think this is as big as it gets in terms of rivalry. I don't feel like I have a rivalry with Canada. That's not me saying we're bigger than Canada, because I don't think that we are. I just think growing up, I never had a rivalry with Canada in any sport. So for me, athletics, always the United States, and football. But when you talk about CONCACAF and Jamaica, it's always Mexico. So Canada don't fit into that. But that's not to be shady or disrespectful. So going back to the game, of course, another opportunity to see who takes all the marbles. It's another opportunity for bragging rights. And I think they are United States. I think when you listen to their fans, there is that moment of us beating them. I feel like it's near, whether it's going to be this match, the return match on their shores, or subsequently in the near future. I think us beating the United States is near. Whether this match comes a little bit too soon, taken into consideration our squad selections, players availability and unavailability as well, suspension, injuries, nursing injuries, and of course someone like Bobby Reid being away for personal reasons, which is absolutely understandable. This is definitely another opportunity there for us to do what we did with Canada, not the stuffing out of Canada. Now here's another opportunity for us to do the same. So maybe the General Bailey, maybe he might be the man to do that. Of course, the first game there, as I said, this one being played on Thursday. And they pretty much have to make it count. We have the home advantage. I always feel like it's better to play first. I don't know how for you guys, when you have 2 legs game, I kind of feel like it's better for us to play first. Don't know what you guys make of that, but home advantage there, let it count. I know when we go overseas, there's a good Jamaican diaspora stateside, so I'm sure the guys will have supporters there out in their numbers. But again, let it count, make it count on home soil, win the game on home soil if you can. Leave nothing to the match official. Forget about this whole conversation about VAR being present. I'm not even going to get into the politics around VAR and so on, but I think this is an opportunity where we can basically grab the opportunity with both hands. Let's not play into the hands of the referee or the match officials. I've seen that in recent years where teams have done that, wanting to play into the match officials or the referee's hands, and it usually, for me, for the most part, where Jamaica is concerned, it doesn't work. We're out of favor. But one of the reasons why I hate when teams try to play into the referees or the match officials' hands is, for me, it says desperation, and it also says that you don't believe in yourself. You're just not confident enough to do the job yourself, hence leaning on the ref or the rest of the match officials there. So yeah, forget about VAR, focus on the game, and try to put this one to bed. Hopefully for Bailey, he can bend it like Bailey. This one remains to be seen. Of course, like I said, Antonio unavailable, but he has scored one of the best goals that we've ever seen, and I think he scored this one on home soil some years back. We've seen what Dexter Lambakisa did against Panama. We've seen Bobby Reid putting Screamer before, and Damari Gray, when he came along, he fitted in like a missing puzzle. Now for me, it is definitely over to Leon Bailey to see if he can give us what we've seen. For me, I want to see what I've seen in Bundesliga. I want to see that Bailey score a goal against the United States, or Bailey starting to score goals that it reminds you of like Beckham-esque type of goals, because we've seen it. He doesn't have it in his locker, be it from a direct free kick or just being from scoring from open play. He can do it. We've seen it before, and we want to see that in the national team, or live up to his name. If he's not going to live up to being the general, live up to his younger name, chip the keeper, win the match for us. We need something from him. It's good to see him back in the squad. I think, from an outsider looking on, he does seem more mature, and I said this on my live stream some weeks back as it relates to him and Aston Villa. He does seem a bit more mature. I've listened to him in interviews with Sky Sports, and he just sound like a different Leon Bailey. Seems like he's just growing into a man. So hopefully we can see that when it comes to the national team. Hopefully we can see him cracking on, pulling up his socks, and being the general. When you call yourself the general, you really and truly have to act like it. You have to step up to the plate. You have to put in those applaudable performances, and just get the job done. So hopefully we can see more of that, or some of that, because we've not seen it yet where Jamaica is concerned and where Liam Bailey is concerned. So I don't know what you guys have made of what I've said. Let me know in the comment section. I am going to have to love you and leave you shortly, because I've been speaking with you guys for over 1 hour and let's call it 30 minutes. So I am going to have to close up on my live stream in a bit. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be keen to answer some questions before I go, because I haven't been streaming with you guys. I think the last time I did a stream was some couple days ago. Again, my apologies. Fire some questions at me. If you guys want me to answer some questions, I'm more than welcome to do so. I realized I didn't do something, so I need to do something for you guys. I realized I didn't read the team announcement, right? So let's see if I can give this one to you guys. I'm going to start out from the back. I'm pretty sure you guys can see it on the screen in front of you. You probably can't read it, so I'll go ahead and give it a read. Between the sticks, we have the selection of Andre Blake, Jamali Waite, and Shaquan Davis. In defense, we have Dexter Lambakisa, Tavon Gray, Damian Lowe, Mason Holgate, Ethan Pinnock. Reminder that Ethan Pinnock is unavailable for this game here due to nursing and injury. We also have Richard King, Deshaun Bernard, Amari Bell, and Greg Lee. Midfielders, we have Joel Latibode, the introduction there of new recruit Isaac Hayden, Karoy Anderson, Casey Palmer, and Tyreek McGee. Our forward selection consists of the return of Leon Bailey, Kaheem Dixon, Shamar Nicholson, Romario Williams, Damari Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, and also Michael Antonio. Again, reminder, Antonio is suspended and is therefore unavailable for the match on home soil at the office on Thursday. So that is how we're looking there where the team is concerned. Probably got maybe another 2 minutes or so with you guys, or less, because I don't see you guys asking any questions in the comment section. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you to those of you who have hit the like button. I don't think I had to ask anyone to hit the like button tonight. So thank you for hitting the like button, and thank you to the hater that popped by. And at least you're honest with yourself. I asked, did you hit the like button? Majority of you said yes, and there was a couple hater. I'm glad at least you know that you're a hater. They said no, they've not hit the like button because they're a hater. So I actually like your honesty. I hope to see you in the comment section, maybe on my next live stream, or better yet, silently watching, because your support definitely does not go unnoticed. Thank you for noticing my channel. Do continue to notice the channel. And we're going to be segueing and talking about some Reggae Girl stuff, as I said there, guys, at the start of the show, once we get these Reggae Boy stuff out the way. Okay. So I am going to be closing off. It's almost 2 a.m. I think what I'm going to be doing in the future, guys, I might do these live streams a little bit earlier. I've been testing it out. Sometimes it works for me, just depending on how I'm feeling, and also for you guys in Jamaica. But I think I might have to push the live stream a little bit forward, because right now it's almost 1:45 a.m. in the morning for me, so I might have to just make some amends. Okay. So yes, the general is back. That is Mr. Leon Bailey. If in case you guys are wondering who the general is, it is Bailey. 2 games coming up at the end of this month into the first week of December. First of those match there will be played on November 29th, and we'll be taking on South Africa. That is the senior women's football team of Jamaica, the Reggae Girls, senior Reggae Girls, taking on South Africa on the 29th of November. It says to be decided on at the moment, which is what I'm looking at. I am assuming the reason why it says to be decided is maybe a kickoff time. I'm not really sure what time this one's going to be kicked off. Maybe something similar to when the Reggae Boyz would kick off tomorrow, and the second of those 2 matches there kicks off on December 2nd. Again, you can see the to be decided. This one is firmly in the pipeline, so I'm assuming the to be decided is the, what do you call it, the timing, right? And if you're in Jamaica, both those games there will be played in the Montego Bay Sports Complex. So if you're in Mobe on the 29th of November or December 2nd, get yourselves to the sports complex where you can watch the senior women's national football team of Jamaica taking on South Africa. Definitely not strangers to each other. All right, guys. So I got maybe just another minute with you guys, and then I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you, before I forget, thank you for giving me a moment of your time. Thank you for continuing to support my channel. Your support definitely does not go unnoticed. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you each and every time. What else can I say? What else can I say to you guys? I think that is it. I'm going to just have to ask Wayne next time, because I think he's gone now. He kind of left a question mark with me, and I can't really solve it. So I'll catch up with him another time. If you're out and about, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because walking through your doors is a underrated blessing. And I think that is that for me there, guys. So I will catch you on my next live stream. So thank you for hitting the like button. Also, thank you for hitting the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel and you hit the subscribe button, thank you so much for your support. Okay, so I am going to have to love you and leave you. So thank you very much. And you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.